What is up guys, it's Cal, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get all of the achievements in the Brawlers Guild. Now they aren't too difficult. We have King of the Guild, which is reach rank 8 in the Brawlers Guild. I am Thrall's complete lack of surprise, which is defeat 10 bosses using the random brawl. Rumble Club, defeat all rumbles in the Brawlers Guild. Educated Guesser, gain 10 stacks of vested interest. And then you are not the contents of your wallet, which that one's going to be the longest one. It requires you to get 20,000 Brawlers Gold. Now, just to get this one out of the way, for King of the Guild, I'm not going to show you how to get all the way to rank 8 in this video. I do have a completely separate playlist, which that's going to be at the end of this video, if you want to see how to do each of the fights. But that's that achievement, is to reach rank 8 in the Brawlers Guild. Now, whenever you complete a battle in the Brawlers Guild, you get like a sack that has roughly about 100 coins in it. So that does rack up to your you are not the contents of your wallet achievement. But there are other ways to make gold in the Brawlers Guild, which I'm going to tell you now. Now, first of all, I'd advise doing the King of the Guild achievement first, reaching at least as far as you can. You might not be able to get all the way to rank 8, but just enough so you have a good amount of gold, Brawlers Gold that is, staved up. Now you can only hold 5,000 at a time, so when you hit the 5,000 cap, you do have to spend some, which I'm going to tell you now what to spend it on. So let's look at the Rumble Club achievement. So other ways to make gold is that when you complete a battle getting your rank up in the Brawlers Guild, you can go to the card vendor and she's going to have cards for you that you can buy for 3 gold, and then you can do that battle. Now that's not really the most effective way to make gold. It might be, it depends. But let's take a look at Rumble Club really quick. Now there's another vendor there where you can buy other cards from. They're called Rumble cards. Now what a Rumble card is it's essentially a raid boss that appears in the Brawlers arena. Once you buy a Rumble card, it's not going to show up in your inventory. Everyone who's currently queued up in the Brawlers Guild lineup, so make sure you get queued up with anything, it doesn't matter. The next battle that appears is going to be one of the raid bosses here. So it's going to port everyone into the arena to attack. Now, some people do actually kind of get annoyed at this, but so you can kind of like troll a bit if you just want to buy a bunch of Rumble cards. People might not really like you, but hey, you need to get your achievement done, so that's what matters. Now, most of them, I didn't really find anything super special about them. They're a little bit straightforward. The only one that was kind of strange was a Stranglethorn run, which essentially ports everyone into the arena. Everyone goes down to level 1, and everyone has no armor on. And there was going to be raptors and crocodiles that appear around you that are level like 30-ish. So they'll one-shot you if they attack you. So what I ended up doing, since I'm a hunter, you know, range class, I stayed in the middle of the arena, just spun around in a circle, smashing my tab button, and then smashing Cobra Shot. So anything that appeared in front of me, I immediately selected and hit Cobra Shot and it died. If you're anyone, you really want to stand closer to the center, and then these beasts are just going to pop up, and use a ranged ability to kill them, because if you run up to them and hit them, they might one-shot you. So there's 7 total Rumble cards that you have to complete, and once you do that, they'll give you about 250 gold each. And also, I think I forgot to mention this, but each Rumble card does cost 500. So that is one thing to spend your gold on once you hit the 5,000 cap. So now that we've talked about Rumble Club and we talked about King of the Guild, let's talk about I Am Thrall's complete lack of surprise, which means you have to defeat 10 bosses using random brawl mode in the Brawlers Guild. Now how to activate random brawl mode is you have to go back to that same vendor where you bought the Rumble cards from, and you want to buy a bag of chipped dice, which costs 100 Brawlers Gold. Now once you buy the bag of chipped dice, you turn it into a bouncer, and then you activate random brawl mode for everyone for the next 30 minutes. So you just talk to the bouncer, you click I want to join a random brawl, and it puts you into a random brawl, even one from past expansions. Like for example, I didn't really run into any trouble doing this one because I already had King of the Guild, so I was understandable of all the fights, but I did run into Hexos. Now, if you've done, like, I believe, maybe it was Warlords, maybe it was, I don't know, some Brawlers Guild before the current one, Hexos was a pain. And yeah, I mean, you might not get Hexos, I don't think everyone will. Actually, maybe everyone will, I don't know. But you need to, like, turn your camera so you're not facing the purple lines. That's essentially how you kill them. You do get a shirt from killing them, so maybe everyone's going to fight them, I don't know. But you have to do this 10 times, do the random brawls 10 times to get your achievements. Each of these random brawls, though, however, do give you the same bulging pack that the Rumble Club did, so they give you around 250 coins as well. So between the Rumble Club and the random Brawl mode packs, those are going to be your best ways to get Brawlers Gold. Okay, so we really have one more to talk about, which is Educated Guesser, which means you have to obtain 10 stacks of vested interest in the Brawlers Guild. So you go back to that same vendor where you bought the Rumble cards from and you bought the chipped dice from, and you want to buy a High Rollers contract for 100 Brawlers Gold, and then you're going to turn it into Gooch Gold Sprocket. Now this is going to activate a sort of wager mechanic with Lord Wilfred, or Winifred, I don't know, Brown, who's right in front of Gold Sprocket. Now the whole idea behind this is that when somebody enters the Brawlers Guild, now this happens for 30 minutes just like the chip dice, when someone enters the Brawlers Guild, you have about 15 to 20 seconds, actually probably closer to 20 seconds I believe, to talk to Lord Winifred and guess if the person who's fighting is going to win or is going to lose. So you get to pick, okay, the hero's going to win or the monster is going to win. So if you guess it wrong, you completely lose the buff, and you also don't have to guess at all if you're unsure of whether the person will defeat the monster or not. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to guess if you don't want to. So it's a bit of a guessing game. This is also a way to get some Brawlers Gold. You're not going to get nearly as much as the ones before, the methods before, but you will get gold this way as well. So this one did take me longer than expected to do. Just some tips to guess which one's right is if the boss has like a one-shot mechanic, like for example burnt stachio, if you walk on the fire you instantly die, or the Pacu one, the Pac-Man, which means like when you walk on the blue walls you instantly die. Like any boss that has a one-shot mechanic, I'd usually pick the monster to win, and then some of the bosses that just seemed easier, I would pick the hero. A lot of times I would select the person to see like what their gear is, if their gear is good, if they will be able to kill the enemy, just things like that. So you're going to use your own discretion with this one. But every time you guess it right, like if you guess that the monster would win and the monster did win, vice versa, then you get 1 stack of vested interest buff. Now this is the interesting thing, and I didn't even realize this until after I got the achievement, is that the only way you get Brawlers Gold is if you pick the hero to win and the hero does win. So I mean, if you pick the monster to win and the monster does win, so you do get a stack of vested interest, you're not going to get any Brawlers Gold from that, but you will if you pick the hero to win and the hero does win. And the Brawlers Gold, it's 5 gold per stack of vested interest you have. Now this is the thing that really confused me. I got to 10 stacks of vested interest and I didn't get the achievement. It didn't explain it very well. The way to get the achievement is you have to pick the hero to win, and then the hero does win when you have at least 10 stacks. So that's something to take into account. So as soon as you get 10 stacks, make sure you're very careful and you only pick the hero to win if the hero is going to win, and then you're of course going to get some Brawlers Gold for that. I also forgot to mention that if you're not queued up and everyone around you goes into a rumble, like does a rumble card, and you're stuck out there guessing if the hero's going to win or if the monster's going to win, and you guess it right, that's 2 stacks of vested interest. So those are really all of the achievements. Educated Guesser getting 10 stacks of vested interest, Rumble Club defeating the 7 raid bosses in the Brawlers Guild, Iron Thrall's Complete Lack of Surprise, which is defeating 10 bosses using the random Brawl mode in the Brawlers Guild, King of the Guild reaching rank 8 in the Brawlers Guild, and then the last one is you are not the contents of your wallet, which means you will have to use some of those methods I talked about before to reach that 20,000 Brawlers Gold mark. And every time you do get 5,000, you do have to spend some to get more gold. So usually I would spend it on buying a Reser that is inside of the Brawlers Guild. You can buy all of this from Ulani, I believe is how you pronounce that name, or I might just buy Rumble cards, because Rumble cards cost 500 and you get 250 back. So that's pretty much it. Those are all of the achievements in the Brawlers Guild. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, you can leave a like on it. You can sub to the channel for more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video.